Hi, my name is Justina Kehinde. I am a writer, a performance artist, and a director. I sing, I act, I do lots of different things within the creative arts, and I find that so fulfilling to not just produce my own work, but to create it, to be able to perform it, to work with other people in collaboration. And I think that as an artist, being able to move between lots of different roles enables you to hone your craft more and to understand it more. You don't have to just be one thing, but you can explore lots of different things, and in different stages in your life, different things might become more dominant, but having an awareness and challenging yourself to embody different roles is one of the most fruitful experiences you can have as an artist. Growing up, I had an awareness of Cambridge as a great institution for academics, but when I was in year 13, my mum took me along to an open day, and I went to the English department, and they were talking about medieval literature, and I was just so fascinated by the lecturer and the way that he brought these stories to life, and the pursuit for knowledge and the hunger for understanding. And I just thought I had 5 options. Why not try and apply there? I was the first in my family to end up going there, and so it was just an opportunity that presented itself. Going into Cambridge, the literature side was fascinating. I mean, my first paper was Renaissance literature, and I'd never studied that before at school, and so it was kind of like a baptism by fire. But really, one of my biggest passions was post-colonial literature. I was really fascinated in terms of my heritage being both Nigerian and British, and also as a British citizen, this country's relationship with its former colonies. And so I think I had gone on a journey of understanding myself through post-colonial literature. And when I discovered that Cambridge had a paper about that, I was really fascinated about how I could use stories to understand geography, to understand geopolitics. In time, I completed my part 1, and I then ended up switching to social anthropology because I found that I was more interested in what the stories were exploring as opposed to necessarily like grammar and commas and things. And so anthropology proved to be a far more fulfilling subject, but both of them together have deeply influenced what I have gone on to do. So I came to the end of my first year, and as much as I had access to lots of different forms of literature, I was quite frustrated because I wasn't seeing myself reflected in those stories. I wasn't looking at characters that looked like me, that spoke to me. And I had a deep desire when I looked outside of even my course. I recognized that there was an acute lack of diversity, especially within the arts. And so I said to myself, I want to be in a play that I can exist in, and I want to put that on. And so at the end of my first year, I decided to put on Ntozake Shange's For Colour Girls Who Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Was Enough. It's a choreo poem exploring 7 women of colour and their journey through womanhood and through life. And it ended up, at the very end of it, after going through lots of trials and tribulations, becoming, as far as we are aware, the first all-black, all-female production on a Cambridge stage. And it completely transformed not only my experience and the experience of lots of other students of colour at Cambridge, but also the theatre scene there as well. And what was so fulfilling about it was that I didn't set out to make history in doing that. It was just an attempt to tell my story and to tell the stories of people that look like me, and to have a space for us.
Rewire, reset. I wanted an internal big bang. Bang!
Internal, big, see my eyes, bang. Bang! And then you lock into the audience, straight there, use the body, and now we're 360, yeah? So go back to the top of that bit there.
Constantly pushing the barriers about what is acceptable, what can be seen and what can be created, and that has fueled me since leaving university. In one hand, I work within public health around African women's sexual health and rights, and that's definitely deeply rooted in my anthropology, but I also have been working on other plays, and I've recently written and directed my first original play called Umuada, which explores mental health, migration and motherhood in the urban African diaspora. So I think in that journey through Cambridge and that journey through literature and through anthropology, I have come up with a really beautiful blend of lots of different ways of speaking about what has not been heard or what has not been listened to in the past. A huge thank you to WOLAB and Theatre N16 for giving us the space for this interview and for supporting and enabling emerging artists to continue with their creativity.